Hey, what's up, guys? It's Joey. I'm at the studio right now. I'm just gonna clean myself up a bit. I have some time between clients and just kind of feeling like switching it up a bit here. I got to clean up the beard, and I've been rocking my mulatino for 2, 3 years now. I don't know. I see mullets everywhere now. Apparently, that's the latest trend. So I've got to switch it up a little bit. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of just freestyle it. Yeah, if I'll have you kind of observe what I do. So right now I'm actually going to start with my beard, and I took my number 6 guard. I don't know if you guys can see it. Anyways, take my word for it. It's a number 6 guard, and I'm using my Andy's Fade Master. Kind of go in and take out some of. I don't like the bushiness that I get like right here at the start of my jawline, so I want to kind of clean that up a bit. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna start with the 6 because I want to take it a little bit shorter today. Usually, if I wanted to, I would start with an 8. That's the largest guard that I have, but I want to go a little shorter with it today. It's summertime, so I'm trying to, keep cool. Figured a little bit less hair throughout, the beard and head. Well, it's not summer yet. In a couple of weeks will be summer. I digress. Springtime. Spring is finally here. I was out for my morning walk this morning. It was beautiful out. Sun was bright and shining up in the sky. The birds were chirping. A lot of action today. And actually, I wrote something down in my journal that happened today while I was on the trail. Here's my journal. I know I've mentioned this before, but get yourself a journal and just write down things throughout your day. Could be something very just mundane, or could be something very deep and spiritual, or that touched your soul, or that just inspired you. And I wrote this down, and I always date it because it's like I said, I want to go back, in time, so to speak. Let's say if I read this in a year from now and I go through and see what was going on in my life then, I can kind of look back and be like, wow, okay, that was interesting. Or, just kind of look back at my life. And today it was cool. I wrote down today I faced down fear and was victorious. And in a sense, after thinking back on it, I think it was just my own imagination that created. I'll tell you what happened as I continued to trim my beard down here. And when I started, it was a full open 6. Right now, I'm going to go close it all the way. I want to take off a little bit more right back here. So I'm going to close it all the way down to be a full 6. So while I was out on the trail today, I came across a coyote. And now that, like I said, spring is here, a lot of the foliage, a lot of the brush, a lot of the trees, the bushes, everything just has just grown. And I don't think it saw me. This is the second time I've actually come upon a coyote out in the wilderness. One time I was on the trail, it was closer to wintertime, and out of the corner of my eye, I see just something darting across, running east. I was facing north at the time, and out of nowhere, just this coyote just rushes across the path and into the other side of the path, into the woods, and it just disappeared. It didn't even pay any attention to me. It just darted across the way and just disappeared. In that moment, I was like, wow, that's some freedom right there, right? That coyote has. And today was a little bit different. I was walking into the trail, and I was just at that moment in time thinking like, wow, how different this is from 4 months ago when this was all barren and just brown and either covered in snow, or just everything was kind of asleep, or dead per se. The trees. Now everything was just in full blossom. And out of the corner of my eyes, I'd say probably like 4 to 6 feet at most away, I'm looking at a thing I have in the studio. I'm like, that's about as close as it seemed. That was at least, I'd say maybe that's 5 feet. Like, I just saw the tail, like the hind end of the coyote. And then I keep walking, and there was like a tree. So there was it was on the nearest side of the tree to me, and I saw the tail. And as I kept walking, it just like as I got to the other side of the brush, it was gone. And I maybe walked like 2 or 3 feet, and then the tail, everything disappeared, and it was so quiet. I was like, how the heck did I lose it so quickly? Because I saw it, it was there. I saw the tail, and then gone. It disappeared. It didn't make a sound as it went off into the brush. So now I'm thinking, shoot, did it just kind of scamper a little bit ahead in the direction I'm heading? And continuing on the path, there are these giant elephant ear plants that are just covering the trail. Also, all the branches from the tree that are all now in full bloom. So the trail's pretty condensed. So I was like, oh crap, what if as I try to cross, the coyotes either get startled or jump out at me, or it's just waiting there, for me to cross. So for like one split second, I had this kind of little bit of fear in my gut. And then I was like, shoot, should I turn around and head the way that I came back? And I was like, no, I'm going to go through that damn trail. I'm not going to be scared of this coyote. If anything, it should be scared of me. And usually I run through that part of the trail because I'm, doing my jog. It's like, you know what, just gather yourself and you're going to cross that freaking thing, whether that coyote is there or not. Like I said, all of this could have potentially come from my own imagination where I'm like, oh no, now that coyote's waiting to pounce on me. For all I knew, that thing was off in the complete opposite direction of where I was going, but that's how our mind plays tricks on us. And I was like, I'm not going to fall victim to my mind or this fear, and I'm going to go on my path because that's a path, that's a direction I was going on. And that's how life happens to us in different aspects where it's like potential things we create in our mind or imagination, these potential horrible outcomes for things that may have never or will never happen, but that's just how our mind works. So I was, you know what? All right, strapped on the bag. I had my backpack on, and I just jogged off past where I, in my mind, thought that coyote was. I crossed, and let me tell you, the sense of just overwhelming satisfaction and just, I felt victorious at that moment that I was just like, I'm crossing there, whether or not there's a coyote. May have not been the smartest thing or whatever. I'm not even thinking at the time, but what I'm thinking is I need to face my fear. I cannot be prevented from going on my path. And that's how I look at life situations now, where it's like, these are the lessons that I'm learning out in the woods, kind of this rite of passage that we all need, that we are missing in our lives. That's the kind of thing that strengthens you to move forward in your life when obstacles come your way, or when obstacles that you create out of your own imagination are there when they aren't even really there at all. They're just figments of our imagination. Now, I know I saw that coyote, he was there. But like I said, at the end of the day, that thing's probably more scared of me, than anything, because it wasn't in a pack. It was just one lone coyote. And so, yeah, I just moved forward. But I just felt so good. And I realized, wow, I faced a fear today, and I was victorious. And I journaled that because I was like, I want to remember this. Like I said, if I read this 6 months from now, a year from now, know that I have the ability and the capabilities to overcome those fears and move forward in my life. And I was just very, just like I said, this sense of, what did I write down in my journal? Where did I put my journal? I wrote it here. Of accomplishment and victory. I felt victorious. I felt strengthened. I felt my spirit be raised up. it's all about our energy, right? And how we take things in life and either we put that positive energy into it or into our lives, or we put that negative energy or that negative energy into our lives. And that's sometimes why we feel drained, because we focus on the negative as opposed to focusing on the positive, and not being weighed down or dragged down by these things that are outside of us. And I just felt great. I felt like I had run a gauntlet, like uh, those Roman style, gladiator style gauntlets. Like I ran through it. Um, Now, as I wrote it, though, I chuckled because I was like, yeah, like, to think that there was going to be a coyote that's going to come pounce out me, like now it makes me laugh. But at that split second in time when you're just you and this wild animal, you're like, oh, shoot. But it was just a split second. And then I was like, no, we're going through. And so that's just something I kind of wanted to share. That was a really neat experience today. Um, and like I said, that really helped me raise my energy levels, raise up my mindset in a sense. As much as I am a positive and optimistic person, and I love sharing my energy and my light with those, I also sometimes get drained and I need to be recharged. And I felt like I've needed a bit of a recharge, and that really helped to recharge myself, know the inner strength that I have, um, and continue to move forward in life, and be recharged to be able to share that light and that energy with you guys that watch. And then I could come and share, that energy with my clients. So right now I'm actually using a four to kind of trim um, the stash. And I think that's a lot of the reasons too why, my clients come to me, because they get that energy. They sense that optimism, that idealism, that just positive energy. They sense it and they enjoy coming here, and I enjoy sharing that with them, and sharing that with you guys on the YouTubes. But I'm just a man, there's nothing special about me. I'm just a man that is now realizing so many things about myself. And as I go forward, like I want to share these little tidbits. But, I have my downs as well. I need to be recharged as well. But when I go to get recharged, the difference between me and somebody else is I go to a higher power, or I go within myself, to what I've been given, that's within, that we must all seek, and that helps recharge me, and bring me back up. And there's somebody I want to recommend to you guys to watch. I've been watching him for about a year. He just came on the scene just like pow, and he's got a lot of wisdom. I see the gratitude. I see the love that he wants to share, the wisdom, and everything he says has truth in it. And at first you might not like it. At first it might be jolting. At first it might hurt you in here, because it's convicting you. Because what he doesn't hold back any punches. He doesn't, um, hold your hand and want to, placate you. And that's Wes Watson. I highly recommend you go and watch Wes Watson. And if at first you don't like him, continue to watch. If at first you don't like what he says, or it hurts you because what he's saying is speaking to you, because that's how you're being, continue to watch, because he will teach you. There is wisdom there. And you can see how much he loves what he's doing and what he wants to do, and how he wants to help others. And he doesn't hold back any punches. Like I said, you may not like it at first, but please stick with it. Like for me, the minute I watch, I'm like, damn, this guy gets it. I'm gonna watch and listen to this guy, because I know I need to hear those harsh words sometimes. We all learn differently. or we all take in things differently, but his message and the way he delivers his message, that's the kind of message I need to hear for myself. And it just clicked with me from Jump Street. And on top of that, I just saw the realness of this man. You know, he wasn't holding back. He, had no shame to his game. He admitted all the things that he was and he did. And that's the biggest thing for all of us is no shame. Like when he says he was the worst, he believes he was the worst because he knows his own life. He knows what he did. Just like I know I've done horrible things and I know I'm not perfect, but I accept that, and I'm learning and we're all hopefully learning. And he doesn't hold back, I mean, he spent 10 years in prison. Thank the Lord, I've never had to spend time in prison. I never want to, knock on wood. But, we've all had to overcome our own obstacles. And the biggest thing is not letting those obstacles bring us down or give us a victim mindset or victim mentality, which it so easily can do. And it's so easy to go that route. But those that stay the path, the straight, narrow path, and overcome that will see the rewards that come with that. You may not see it now in this realm, but you'll see it in the next. And I highly recommend go check out Wes Watson. He's got 2 channels. You can watch both. You can pick one. But I telling you, just listen to his stories. Listen to what he has to say. And I think he'll get you squared away. So with that, I leave you guys. Actually, no, I'm going to continue to cut. If it gets a long video, it'll be a long video. If you don't want to watch the whole video, don't watch the whole video. Either way, I'm going to continue to do my cut here. And maybe I'll stop yapping and just focus more on the cut because maybe some of you just want to watch the cut and are like, dude, just shut up. But either way, we're going to get cutting. So, I don't know. I think the beard, what do we got? I just finished off with a 4, kind of from the jawline up. From here, I did an open 6 to a 6, and then from here maybe like a open 4. And I'm just going in there gently, just gently grazing the hair. And if it only takes a little off, it only takes a little off. And if you want to go shorter, you can go shorter. Like I said, I know the lighting isn't the best, but you kind of see how it's already looking a lot more cleaned up. And there's times too when I'll actually even just kind of do maybe like a 3.5 right through here, just so I can clean this up and make it a little bit crispier when I go in with the T outliners. Today I'm just going to keep it with a 4. And I'll still do the T outliners with that. I don't know. I think I kind of like where this line's at. So I've been trying to grow it out a little bit more. That's why I'm going to try to not go down too short with it. And a little trick that I do to try to get the really nice straight line is I'll lift up and I'll start about here and work my way through. And then when you drop it down, you'll have just a nice, really like crispy line there. And then we'll go ahead and cut. Then you just drop it down. Ah. There you go. And then you can just go in there and detail more if you want, but I kind of like how it's looking. Sometimes less is more. You go in there and you try to knock out these tiny little hairs, and sometimes you keep going and then you don't know when to stop, and then it's too late. So I'd rather just kind of leave it, go to the other side, and then if I kind of need to do an evening out, I will. But just I like to give myself a little bit of room. You know, I can take it off, I just can't put it back on. And same thing with this side. You know, we're gonna just lift it up and then kind of get that line going right there. And I'm really gentle with it. You know, you don't really want to go too hard because you don't want to, you know, cut or scrape this skin here that's very sensitive. So I kind of try to keep a very light hand. You know, let the machine do the work. If you have good tools, and the tool is so important, but if you have good tools, it's going to make your job and your life a lot easier. If you want to go in with a razor, you can. I personally don't like to do the razor on myself. That's just me. Different strokes for different folks, but let the tool do its job, and get the right tool for the right job. You know, the more I go into my career, the more I realize how important that is. You know, to have the right tool for the different jobs that you'll be doing here, if you choose to do this this craft, this trade. This is definitely a trade. You know, you're working with your hands. And like I tell some of my young cats that come in here, you know, if you can, spooky. My lights are motion sensor, so I must have not felt, or yeah, didn't sense my motion. I always tell these young cats, right now, all you young, try to find something that, a skill with your hands, whatever that may be, because as long as you have a skill with your hands, you can work anywhere. You can go anywhere. You know, I mean, it's very different than if you were to work in an office. You know, I mean, if you have a skill, whether it's, you know, cutting hair, carpentry, heating and air, whatever it is that you can work with your hands, and you have a trade, a skill, that's really, really valuable and really, really important. And I tell these kids that are younger, you know, that are coming up, it's like, go find that skill and try to do it. You know, it doesn't necessarily mean that's the thing you're going to have to do for the rest of your life, but if you love it, do it. In 2021, I would say that the whole college thing is not for everybody, or should even be something that, you know, you should be focused on as an end-all be-all. And that's just my personal opinion. But anyways, I'm gonna, like I said, keep going on this cut. I'm gonna get too much into my opinions today. So I've had the mullet, and it's gone from different stages of length. I don't know, I feel like maybe kind of shorten it up a bit. We'll see. Right now, I think we're gonna do a 7. And for those that are technical, a 7 is 22 millimeters. It'll say on there, if you want to know how much hair it'll take off, 7/8. And I use my mirror, and it's all about the angles to cut the back of my head. Kind of comb it down a little bit to see how much I've taken off. Do that. Like I said, I don't know, I want to switch it up a little bit. And I felt like over here was just getting too much. It wasn't, I'm all about the haircut and the head shape working in unison. And I just felt I wasn't really digging how it made the mullet was looking my head. It was making it look too weird and squared, and I wasn't digging it. It's all about proportions, people. Proportions, remember that when you're cutting hair. So I'm at a 7, and that wasn't really taking anything off. This side actually isn't looking too bad, but still gonna kind of go in and clean it up. In this side, I can kind of see a little bit better what I'm doing, but I still kind of check it with the mirror. And if I need to, I can use a mirror to see what I'm doing, but sometimes it's kind of throws me off, so I'd rather kind of go by feel. A little more. Yeah, I think I'm digging that. Digging it, I'm digging it. This is still a 7 that I'm using to kind of cut back some of the hair back here. I'm going a little shorter with it this time. Like I said, I'm just freestyling today, so I think that's what I'm feeling. Just go a little shorter. Lord willing, it'll grow back. Yeah, I think I'm digging it a little bit shorter. So it was feel like I was when I had it before was getting too bulky back here, and it just like it did not. It made this kind of stick out too much, and this was like short, so I wasn't feeling it. A little bit shorter with it. I'm still doing the 7, but I'm gonna do like half. And it looks like I might have to try and tighten up my bolt here on the clippers for the lever. Seems to be a little loose. And if you notice, I was kind of doing little lights again. So I have a towel warmer that blocks the sensor. So that's why it doesn't sense me when I'm in the corner here. Yeah, digging that, digging it. I'm going to take my little feather razor and just kind of clean up the back of my neck here. And same thing, just be gentle. You know, the blade's about, I'd say, about a 45-degree angle. Just kind of cleaning up any of those little pesky random neck hairs. And if you need to change out your blade, I usually change it out either every cut or every other cut, depending on the hair texture. If it was a really thick hair texture, I probably one time toss it. Sometimes even depending on how much hair they have, I may even, switch it out halfway through and get a new blade once I start feeling how the razor will start actually kind of grabbing at the hair. You don't want that. You want it to just flow like a hot knife through butter. And once you start feeling a little bit of a tug, that's where it's time to switch the blade out, because you don't want to, blow open the hair cuticle by using a dull razor. For medium textured hair, I can maybe, depending on how much hair, like again, they have, I may use it twice. For myself, just to clean up the neck, I'm not going to put in a new blade. It's fine just to, like I said, clean up that little spot, back here. Just kind of run it over. But if I were to do, I have, whether it was a men's cut or a women's cut, I'd probably do a new blade. Just like I said, keep it fresh. And I think, yeah, this one's probably ready to be replaced. So, anyways. And if I want to, I can even go in and kind of, almost like a pencil, carve out a little bit of some texture in there. And I'm almost just kind of using the tip very gently, almost kind of carving it through my hair. You could also, if you had the hair, you could almost over the top just slide it over the top, and that'll give you texture but also remove weight. Since I'm dealing with very short hair, I'm just really going to go in with the tip of the razor. And like I said, just kind of almost carve it in there. And it's, when you're using just a tip, it's very minimal removal, so that we have a little bit more control. Like I said, if you wanted to, you could go in with the razor, but just very gently slide it over the hair. And depending on how sharp your razor is, it'll take off a lot of hair. You'll feel, like I can feel the razor as it's cutting. This blade, like I said, should probably be, it's at the verge of being removed, but I can feel it taking off the hair. And just very gently, I'm barely tapping the surface of the hair. And you could spray a little bit of what I use sometimes is like a leave-in conditioner to make it a little bit easier, so it doesn't pull and tug on the hair too much. So you can spray a little bit back here. Add a little bit of moisture in there, almost to kind of help glide the razor over the hair. And just very gently just run it down where you want to kind of add texture and remove some weight. Yeah, much, much better. Like I said before, I felt it was too much hair and I wasn't digging it. Those lights. Well, at least we know they're working, right? At least we know they're working. This side, just want to clean the edges up. All right. Don't really know if I want to do anything on the top right now. So anything I might just kind of texturize. I have these cut above texturizing shears. They're awesome. They have the swivel thumb. Kind of see this bad boy moves, which hopefully will give me longevity in the game, so I can, I can cut and keep my wrist as straight as possible. That's what you want to try to do, so you're not getting any carpal tunnel or anything, any just industry related ailments to your wrist. And you just want to move your thumb, move the thumb. But that's why I love these swivels. I've got probably, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different shears that I use throughout my haircuts. And they all do different things for different hair textures or just what I'm trying to accomplish. Same thing with my clippers. I love these. As you can see, it gets finer. The teeth here is finer, so there's less removal. And you get over here, you're going to be taking a lot more hair off. And what's great about these shears is that it gives you the percentage. Where is it? I don't know if you guys can see, probably not. Camera quality is not the sharpest, but at the finest setting, it's 7%, 19% there, 20% there, 30%, and right here, this part you're getting at 40%. So that's really kind of neat above these shears. These are actually some of my newer shears that I picked up last summer, and I use these almost daily. And I also have this other pair of texturizing shears. I really like these. These are Sam Villas. And what I like about these is that you can cut with them either with the teeth down or with the teeth up. With these, the teeth go up only. I mean, I guess you could, cut like that, which is nice because of the swivel. And maybe in a different video, I'll tell you why I do that. I can't give you all my tricks of the trade in one video, right? So I think here I'm just gonna kind of maybe texturize. And for me, I'm just kind of going in on an angle. I just feel for me that the hair, it kind of lays differently. I kind of went in like an angle like this when I texturized, as opposed to just kind of straight, just grab the hair and cut it. I just kind of like how the hair then hugs the head shape a little bit better. And you can do fun little texturizing tricks. You can kind of point cut into it if you want. Kind of do all the hair forward, or you can, cut across finer hair. That's really nice to do, which I'll show you. Kind of just start here, and then you work your way across. Work your way across. Work your way across. Work your way across. You guys kind of see the hair just texturize through there, and that's really good for finer hair. I would say myself, I have medium to fine hair. I don't think my hair is as thick as it used to be. And then I work it the other way back. And I'm actually cutting with the teeth down, actually, so you guys can see that. As I work it through. And for me, I feel like where it gets the heaviest is this part right here. And it just kind of seamlessly blends, and then kind of wear the hair and wear it as messy as you like, or if you're more, business oriented for the day, comb it over to the side. But I'm at the studio today, so I like when I'm here, I kind of just like to, wear it messy. Like, I just rolled out of bed and look, my hair is short. But yeah. Just kind of trimming up this front area a little bit, just kind of point cutting into it. I don't like it too blunt. I don't like it just like, meh, if it's a little bit crooked, I don't mind that. If it's a little jagged looking, I don't mind that. Beautiful. Feel like running the razor over it a little bit? Why not? I used to use the razor a lot. And then, I don't know, kind of went more with the classic scissor route. Um, I really do enjoy using the razor. It just, it gives you a lot more free-handedness, I guess, than the shears. Where you just kind of grab the hair and cut and freehand. And I like that, I like freehanding and using my creativity to do my cuts. I was classically, quote unquote, classically trained. I apprenticed for, about a year, if not a little bit over. And, it was very traditional cutting, traditional styling. So I got a nice foundation in that. And as I grew in my career, I was able to kind of freestyle and kind of shoot from the hip more and just kind of see the head shape and the hair, and work with it in a way that would best accentuate my client's head shape and features, right? That's kind of what we're trying to do here. And taking that into account. And like I mentioned earlier, it's all about proportions. And so that's, once I got that foundation and I started freestyling and I kind of just started looking how the hair moves, that's where I kind of just go in and freehand and cut without necessarily following, this very boom, 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 parted way, very Sassoon way, which is a beautiful cuts. And, for me, it just went more of a more kind of organic, natural, lived in look, right? That the clients can easily reconstruct at home, where I think a lot of the detail, I'm not saying that the clients can't recreate that at home, but just I think with the trends and the very structured look moved into a more deconstructed look where there's still shape and movement in the hair, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, 100 sections, it's not a 100 section haircut. If you do that, fantastic, awesome. I applaud you because that is, it's not easy. But for me, it was just, the ability to kind of freehand and have it come out how I want it to come out and how I see it as the artist. Where like that looks good. That to my eyes, that is solid. And I think that's what's the most important thing at the end of the day, right? Because cutting isn't necessarily, color by numbers. You put your creativity into it, and I found over the years that's what worked best for me. But having those foundational pieces are crucial in order for you to be able to use your creativity when cutting hair, when doing your artwork, right? Because even something as basic as a simple fade, I think, could be very, art driven, or a bald fade in particular. I mean, there's definitely, a artist crafted, you know, beauty to a nice, well done fade. And just a little cleanup on the sides here. Nothing too crazy. Well, at 15%. See, maybe I should just wear my hair like this. Digging it, digging it. I don't know. For me, it's just kind of wearing my hair like, I don't know, just however I feel like it that day. But I think I am liking the back being a little bit shorter. I think it doesn't make my head look as odd shaped. here's a moment where I'm going to be like, I should have stopped. And then I'm going to show you, this doesn't go well. We should just stop. But I know it's going to go well. And I'm actually going in with a 6, but very gently, just over the top. I'm not even putting the clipper all the way up to my head. I'm just kind of flicking the top of the spot that I'm like, it seems a little long. This little spot here, I always sometimes leave it a little too long. But I'm just kind of scooping in very gently, very gently. So if I do take off anything, it's just very minimal. Very minimal. Just very, very minimal. All right, cool beans. I think we're good. Let's see. Oh yeah, yeah. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah. Much better. Just kind of want to blend this little corner in, so I'm going to hit it with the shears. Or these are the texturizers. Kind of blending it in a little bit better. All right. You get some of this hair off my head and my face. All right. At this point, I'm pretty much kind of done with the cut. I could shampoo my hair, but I'm just going to wait and take a shower when I get home. I'm just going to finish up the line here. All right, so thank you for hanging out with me. Wow, we're almost at an hour. Took a little bit longer than I thought, but we said I had a little bit of a break in between, so somebody just booked an appointment. Let me see here. Okay, not for 2 days, so we're good. So with that, I'll leave you. You guys can kind of see, it's definitely a lot shorter in the back. And that's kind of think what I needed, just a little bit shorter. And still has kind of a little different look to a different shape. I don't know. I think I might need to fix that. And by fixing, just go a tiny bit shorter. It's just a 3. Open 3. If I need to go close 3, I will. But just trying to clean it up a bit. I think that's better. All right. And this is where we stop. And this is where I stopped the video. So I hope you enjoyed that. Go check out Wes Watson. Face your fear. Sometimes it's just your imagination. and it blows things way out of proportion. So take a minute, gather yourself, take a deep breath, and just charge straight ahead. And ultimately, learn to be balanced. Learn to have that circle around you that you're always centered. You're always centered. And I hope you enjoyed this quick little haircut that I did. I know it wasn't necessarily broken down tutorial wise, but just kind of showing how I cut my own hair and how I trim my beard. Yeah, with that, I leave you guys. We'll talk soon. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a message. Take care, guys. We'll see you.